Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Kanye West or Ye's recent 24 hours or so meltdown on Twitter. He's been absolutely tweaking on the timeline. Obviously, a couple of years ago, we had the Ye rant that has now gone pretty famous with everything that's happened. After that, you know, he got his deals canceled for his shoes and like his Yeezy Gap clothes. People were trying to get him kicked off of like the streaming services for music and shit because he said that he loved like Hitler, he hated Jewish people, all kinds of just like insane off the wall shit, right? He just started, even for like Kanye's terms, right? Absolutely just going, well, as he phrased it, DEFCON 5 on the Jewish race. So after that though, you know, last year he dropped Carnival on Vultures 2. That went #1. He had Vultures 2 also come out in the same year. And it wasn't like it was a perfect year by any stretch of the imagination, but for, you know, Kanye's standards or whatever, he was doing all right. Looked like maybe his career was going to recover pretty well from the whole thing that kind of wrapped up like the end of 2022 and whatnot. Well, last night, a pretty interesting tweet hit the timeline, and I'm not gonna lie, like, the first time I saw it, I thought we were, oh, it's a one-off Ye tweet or whatever. You know how he can be, he says something controversial every once in a while. But of course, if you know Kanye at all, you know that he is very prone to not just saying one ridiculous thing, but instead tweeting about 70 different fucking crazy things within about 4 hours, and then everybody is just left to, like, go through the fallout. So an interesting tweet, like I said, came up last night, and it said, "Free Puff," okay? Now, like I said, I thought maybe we would get lucky. This was just some one-off, just insane tweet. If you don't know what he's referencing here, I know some people don't know who Diddy's, like, alter ego or alias was before he went by Diddy. He also went by Puff Daddy, so, you know, Puff is basically, yeah, he's asking for Diddy to be freed from jail, so once again, like, if you know anything about Ye, you'll know that a couple years ago, like, he was posting text messages between him and Diddy where he's calling Diddy a fed, he's refusing to meet with him, he didn't trust him, all this shit. Well, now apparently Ye loves Diddy. He loves him so much that he wants him freed from jail. And he didn't just say this once, like, you know, I'm certain we were all kind of hoping, right? Like, he's just fucking around. Oh, no. At Real Donald Trump, please free my brother Puff. So, at this point, I think everybody was just like, all right, what the hell is going on here now? Like, are we really about to get another one of these nights out of Ye on Twitter, right? So, before I even go any further, I just want to reiterate the fact that Diddy is accused at this point of drugging women, sexually assaulting women, basically like pimping them out in his freak-offs and whatnot, where he coerced women into doing this with threats of violence by drugging them, things like that. He's accused of assaulting a 13-year-old girl, a literal child, by the way. He's on video beating the shit out of Cassie Ventura. I mean, Diddy is like a supermax prison, max contract eligible kind of character here, right? Notably not somebody you really want to like throw your support behind if you're a pretty hinged together person, right? Well, Ye decided that he was going to capitalize on the relaunch of his Yeezy brand that's been going on over the last few months here. He ended up posting some Sean John collaborations, you know, that's like Diddy's clothing line or whatever, and apparently through selling his free Diddy merch on his website, he will be giving 50% of the proceeds to Diddy and his family. Apparently they'd spoken about this before he was, well, locked up for everything that the government has now accused him of doing when they raided his house and shit. So at this point, you know, like I said, this is Act 1 here, okay? We're in Act 1, because unfortunately you'd think like it's gotta be, this is the worst it can get, right? I mean, he's literally advocating for the release of Diddy, a sexual predator and demon, and he's releasing collab clothing lines with him. I mean, you would think at this point like, oh no, there's no way it could get worse. And I think I and a lot of other people went to bed under this assumption that the worst he could have done was basically launch a half-on-half clothing line with a predator, right? But no, he actually decided to spend a good portion of the overnight hours going even further on his Twitter and reiterating some pretty interesting beliefs, I guess you can call them. Now, the thing is, when it comes to him We always know this because, like, he's got an album coming out, Bully. He's already announced it. You've been able to pre-order it on his website and whatnot, right? Every time Kanye is about to release an album or he has some big project that he's working on, he starts just tweaking the fuck out in public or, like, on social media, just saying the most insane, absurd shit possible, trying to draw all the attention onto himself. And I think that that's partially what he's doing here. I'll explain a little bit more of that later in this video. I do want to say, I don't think it really excuses anything. Like, if you're out here trying to, like, clout chase and clout whore like this by saying shit like this, I mean, you still basically bear the repercussions of what comes. So Ye hit us with some fresh takes that he apparently loves Hitler, he's a Nazi, all white people are racist, and Jewish people hate white people and use black people. So pretty intriguing political, societal commentary here from Mr. West, right? But once again, unfortunately, this is not as far as he would take it. He would go on to refer to himself as Adolf Hitler, and also said that Hitler was, quote, so fresh, which, I mean, it speaks for itself, right? So obviously a lot of people at this point are just like, what the fuck, right? Because, I mean, he's on here, by the way, this isn't all he said, but, you know, he's on here saying shit like this again. He's already, by the way, apologized for this numerous times in the past, which makes it even weirder here because it's like, you're gonna apologize for it. He claimed that Jonah Hill in a certain, I can't remember which movie it was off the top of the head, like 21 Jump Street or something. Apparently him being Jewish and playing that role so well made him like Jewish people again. All this just like wild shit, you know, like he walked all these previous comments back. Just for now, he comes right back out with it all and just continues down this path of just saying this shit again. And it got so bad, the crashing out got so bad, obviously people were reacting to this in live time, and he would go on to say in tweets, you know, oh, I don't give a fuck what all these broke people think. I don't care anybody's opinion on this, right? I say what I want. I'm a god amongst people on earth. You know, just the typical Kanye crashing the fuck out kind of moment, right? Yet people, just like random people on Twitter, would reply to him or quote tweet him, whatever it was, right? And they would just ratio him, or they'd just be like, hey dude, you look like a fucking idiot right now. I'm disappointed in you on behalf of your children or whatever. And just like random strangers on Twitter were just ratioing him. And then ironically, even though he doesn't care what anyone thinks because he's rich, everyone else is broke, yada, 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 he was then going back and forward with a bunch of strangers on Twitter, arguing with them, posting about them, searching himself up on the platform so he could like find accounts talking about him and he could reply in their comments. Very interesting type of behavior from somebody who doesn't give a fuck what broke people think. He doesn't care about anyone else. He only serves himself and whatnot, right? To spend your night going through random Twitter accounts to reply. Yeah, you really don't care. And then, of course, he says something else that a lot of people, including myself, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's no surprise to hear him say like he's a Nazi anymore or whatever, because he has said it before. He is now reiterating that belief. He is now saying it again, right? So it's not really too hard to believe that part, right? But then he tweeted something that actually blew my fucking mind. Like, as far as he's willing to take things and just say shit or whatever, right? I really never thought he would stoop this low. So Ye tweets out, fuck Virgil. Okay, now a lot of you probably aren't going to understand this reference off the top, right? So let me go ahead and give some backstory. Ye had a very close brotherhood and friendship with a fashion designer, really popular artist who is unfortunately now deceased, by the name of Virgil Abloh, right? And Virgil, you know, he designed for like Louis Vuitton. He was like a big famous fashion designer, right? Well, unfortunately, a couple years ago, Virgil passed away tragically because he had been fighting cancer for quite some time, and it was really sad. Like, even when he died, I remember like, man, this really fucking sucks to see, because like, it's such a talented person, such a genuine person, going through such a tough battle. And then of course he passed away. You know, everybody, I feel like, who knew about him kind of mourned it a little bit, was like, man, that sucks. To see Ye come out and say, fuck Virgil, after all of that, right? This is the same Virgil who Kanye flew all the way to Paris, France to simply hug at his first Louis Vuitton show. because he was proud of him and he loved him that much, right? For him to come on here and say, fuck Virgil after everything, man, after watching that man pass away from cancer, after witnessing all the joy he's brought people, all the happiness he's brought people in fashion, how much he's influenced shit, right? I'm not gonna lie, man, this one's just fucking crazy. I would never have thought he would stoop as low as to say something like this. Like I said, the whole Nazi shit, he's already said that. I've already come to expect that kind of shit, unfortunately, with him, but this one is just completely out of left field. I mean, even if you're trying to, like, get attention and shit, and you're trying to, like, draw eyes onto you, which that's obvious what he's doing, but this is really the direction you're gonna go here, bro. Like, you're gonna claim that you're a fucking Nazi again, you love Hitler, fuck your dead friend who passed away from cancer. Why? Like, I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. Now, of course, there's still a lot of Ye defenders out there who, no matter what the guy says, no matter what he does, no matter how many times he reiterates, he doesn't give a fuck about his fans. He only cares about the money. He only cares about serving himself. There's still people out there who defend it, and they're like, oh, but you don't understand, brah. He's only saying it to promote his album and his clothes. Which, I mean, unfortunately, clout whoring for money doesn't make clout whoring any better or, like, more impressive. And honestly, I think we all know at this point, Ye doesn't need to say shit like this to sell albums or to sell clothes, which is all he gives a fuck about. He only cares about making money. So saying this shit doesn't even really align with his mission. And this is the same guy who a couple years ago was using Christianity as his beacon of light. He was a huge follower in Christ. He made Jesus his king. He was doing nothing but serving the Lord. He believed that he had a higher calling from a higher power. And then now he's on here saying shit like this, right? So at this point in his career, with the way everything goes, it's quite apparent he doesn't really like actually firmly believe any of the shit that he says, whether it's like good or bad. He only says shit that he thinks can get him ahead, or he can use to market, or he can use to keep the attention on himself. And it's funny because like a lot of the Ye defenders, like I said, they'll be like, bro, you gotta listen to what he says and understand it. Like, it's actually genius if you think about it. So the argument is that you have to hone in on and you have to prioritize and focus on certain things that Ye says that they agree with and think are cool, but then you're not supposed to hone in on and focus on any of the like ridiculous, moronic shit that he says or does because they don't hold or apply the same weight to it. It's a really fucking stupid mentality to live in at this point, right? And like one of the biggest arguments people have been making for all this time, and that it's like the shield that Ye has used to get away with basically everything, is, oh, but he makes really good music, man. He made Graduation, he made Yeezus, he made 808s. It's like, yeah, he did that 20 years ago, man. We're 20 years away from the Graduation, the Dropout trilogy, right? Like we're past all that, unfortunately. And when you're looking at the shit that's coming out today, like Vultures 2, for instance, it's not better than Vultures 1, which wasn't better than, you know, Donda. Donda was like the last one where it's like, okay, this really fits in the discography and it's great. I mean, at this point, he's no longer dropping like album of the year contender quality shit. And he hasn't done it in years. So are we still at the point where he's gonna, you know, just be given credit for, oh, he can say stupid shit all he wants, he's making great music? Because at this point, he doesn't even give a fuck about the music anymore, man. It's like, honestly, it's just wild to watch. Because, like, you know, eventually he's gonna spiral out and he's gonna say some crazy shit. But I mean, it's just wild to think this is a man who has daughter, you know, he has a daughter, he has children, he's a father, you know what I mean? And he's actually making clothing that is supposed to profit and support a man accused of sexually assaulting someone's 13-year-old daughter. It's insane to me that that's like something that's going on right now, you know what I mean? You would think that when, especially you become a parent, that there's just certain lines you wouldn't be willing to cross just because you're like, well, I wouldn't like that if that happened to my child. But apparently, I don't know, none of that shit matters. I have no clue. It's just insane to watch these crash outs constantly happen. And then what, he's just gonna drop the album and everyone's supposed to forget about it? I don't really know, man. It's at the point where it's not really funny anymore. It's not like cool. It's just kind of corny. It's played out. The shit he's saying is just stupid. It's not insightful. It's not funny. It's not creative. What it really is he's just trying to go against the like quote unquote popular opinion. Obviously, most people don't like Nazis. I figure that's a given. And so he thinks that it makes him more intelligent or a better person if he stands against what everyone else is saying or thinking. But it just comes down to the fact that on some topics, there's just honestly the right choice. There's the right mentality, and simply just stepping out of the boundaries of what other people are thinking, it doesn't make you more creative than anybody else. It doesn't make you cooler. It doesn't make you smarter. It's just the same shit that, like, you know, when I was in 5th grade, kids would do when they just wanted attention, you know what I mean? Or they wanted people to think that they were different. At a certain point, it just becomes corny, played out, and just kind of ridiculous here, man. Like insulting your dead friend who passed away from cancer and whatnot. Like, there's just no reason for shit like that. And then, well, here we are. So I don't know, just wild to watch all this go down. So anyway, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, saying rest in peace to Virgil, because apparently your own friends can't even say that these days. So signing out.